All right, 6/23, June 23rd. Pick Central, brought to you by our friends at Game Time. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially the last minute. Luckily for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down closer it gets to showtime or game time. I was looking at tickets tonight, Braves at Mets. Try to break the streak with the Mets here, get back on track. Section 126 down the third base line, row D, right off the field, $79. Unbelievable deal in New York. Yeah, really, really nice. I've sat in those seats too before. Amazing Game Time deal for $79. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jacks. What are you waiting for? I'm going to buy those Mets tickets tonight now with Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PICKS, P-I-C-K-S, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PICKS, P-I-C-K-S, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. All right, we are sitting on a few new champions. Shout out to LSU. They crushed our future Ev.
Yeah, tough.
Coastal.
Brutal.
So that's done. But the Thunder are now the NBA champions.
Yep.
A lot of people saying, forgettable, not really unbelievable, this and that. I want to see the glass half full. I know I spoke about it a couple weeks ago when that guy wrote the article comparing them to Golden State. I would like to see a new team in the mix here forward as we're watching something maybe be built. You know what I mean?
I mean, this Thunder team's like the
trying to get this pop-up to go away, and it won't go away.
Just putting the thing on.
I thought it was my.
It was him.
I thought it was my phone. It was this.
Crazy.
Pop-up blocking the stats I'm looking at, and then it won't go away. I don't know.
I mean, it just feels like a very weird title because it feels like the Thunder probably aren't getting the respect they deserve. But at the same time, in terms of forgettableness, if that's even a word, I think when you think back in this playoffs, the first thing you'll think of is the Pacers Halliburton run. Yeah. That's still to me is
I agree.
The story of it going forward. And I've gotten to push back on this. I'm curious what you guys think. I do think in 20 years, people like our age that watched it and really lived through it will be like, what if though, if Halliburton didn't get hurt in that game?
Got pushback.
Oh yeah.
I think some people were that's nonsense. I tweeted that. I think it'll be one of the
Well, it's a lot of what if.
It'll be one of the great what ifs of the last 30 years. When
you're also sitting on the Celtics injury too. They weren't even supposed to play the Pacers. Let's call a spade a spade.
But they beat
that
all the
one
teams
was
in front of them. It's that they start the game. Halliburton starts the game on fire. A game 7, no one thought they'd ever get to. Obviously, no one thought they'd be there in the finals in the first place. And then your best player starts the game 3 threes, red hot, close game. Obviously, it's early. He gets hurt, and then they obviously end up losing. But they fight even the first half. They go in the half with the lead. I think it's a huge what if that people will look back on and be
for sure.
Who knows what would have happened if he didn't get hurt? Maybe they steal it. They stole game 1.
I think calling this forgettable is kind of short-sighted. What if this is the beginning of a run for OKC? What if they win 3 of the next 4 or something? You're not going to look at this. It's forgettable maybe. I hate that because what happens, you had 2 teams that hadn't been there with 2 young stars. Now, one of them sadly is hurt for a while, but Halliburton and SGA, and that was kind of our introduction to them on a national stage. I think forgettable, we got a Game 7 out of it. I think that kind of sucks.
I don't think you're ever going to forget.
Forgettable is a little bit of a lazy take when people say forgettable, but I don't know. It's just last night didn't hit the same as a Game 7 in a weird way watching it. Halliburton getting hurt early sucks. That was awful. And I don't know.
First half didn't know. I thought the first half was very compelling. You have Halliburton get hurt. It's a close game.
There's no way you really thought the Pacers were I honestly after that happened, you could kind of even see when they were up 1 at half or whatever, you still felt
it's a Game 7 though, Marty, and the longer that game is close, anything can happen.
100%.
There's only 24 minutes left.
It's just obviously I sound like a Monday morning quarterback, but it just seems like they couldn't keep up with them after Halliburton was gone. Even when they were up, it didn't ever feel like the Pacers had a chance.
The only time in the second half I thought they had a chance, I was just looking back. Turner hits a 3. So Thunder go up 56-51 in the third, and it's oh boy. And then they come back, and Indy ties it with 8:30 to go in the third, 56-56. I was like, fuck.
Dead right after that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That was. But at that point, that 3 goes in. I'm like, oh my god, wow, they're actually not going away. And then eventually, just like it was just too much.
Yeah, too tired. Like I think Dave even tweeted. I think like McConnell hit I think he went down 9 times in a row and hit something. They were still down 15.
McConnell scored all their
I'm
points for
what is
a
going on?
12-minute stretch.
He was also turning it over when he wasn't scoring, because
He was turning over.
But if Halliburton's playing, they don't have those turnovers.
well, that's where I'm saying.
That's
That's why I
where
think
it's
what
the what
is
if.
real.
Right.
Can you talk?
And the reason going off Marty's point,
What?
like
Okay,
the reason I wouldn't even like as a Thunder better, I wasn't just like, oh, this game's like over. We've seen this team just randomly get nuclear over and over again. Like, who's to say that Neesmith wouldn't become Michael Jordan for 5 minutes again? Like, we've seen it happen with our own eyes numerous times. So I never was like, even when they were up 12, 13, I still was like, they need to get this 15 plus.
Yeah.
Like the run Hubs was talking about, like when they got up after that, it was 65-56.
Yeah.
And that they called timeout. I was like, this next 3 minutes is the game.
Yeah.
Like if they can keep this close, you never know. But if they extend this 15, 16, it's over, then they kind of hung around for the next few minutes and then extended it later than that.
What did they get it down to? 12 with 5 minutes? And then
Yeah.
Something
like
that.
Matt
That's
Ford
what I
was
said
just
to
like,
you
I'm not
guys.
passing the ball.
This might be their
Yeah.
one last fucking trick.
Yeah.
Here, it died very quickly, obviously, but I was like, imagine.
There was a moment. There was
definitely a moment.
Because
yeah.
also the Thunder, Shea couldn't hit a shot to save his life in the fourth quarter, and they were getting super stagnant. No one else wanted to shoot. It looked like I think he was taking every single shot for them.
He was.
I mean, Jay Will. So and they weren't going in. Shea ends up shooting 8 for 27 or something.
Yeah, he's way more of a pass.
He was really good in the game.
He's so good at sometimes you look at his stats, you're like, ooh, I didn't know he missed that many shots. Like when you're watching, it doesn't seem like he misses that much.
Did he have any turnovers?
2 for 12 from 3.
He doesn't turn over the ball. a lot.
12 assists, 1 turnover.
They were forcing a bunch of shots. Like him taking 12 threes, he never does that ever.
No.
He also never has 12 assists, so he stepped it up.
Their problem is they couldn't get the spacing with Halliburton out, and they could not get in transition. There's just so much. He does so much for them.
Siakam needed to shoot more at the
But
end.
that's also probably without Halliburton finding him. Without Nembhard doesn't have spacing anymore.
I felt so bad for Halliburton, and Meek Phil's a moron for his tweet.
It sucks the way he started so good.
Basically,
3 threes was easy.
It was the best he's
I know,
looked.
I had plus. I think it was plus 175 for 3 threes.
Everyone got refunded on DK Halliburton bets. You're the only guy who kept their money.
So Perkins said the same thing. He said that even when KD was happening, when you have a calf injury, don't listen to the franchise, don't listen to anyone, do not play. Right? I don't know if you talk to any competitor in their entire life. Game 7 of the championship will say, I'm gonna sit out for my future. Yes, in hindsight, it's always it sucks that he's out for a year. But you have to be an absolute asshole to be able to sit there and watch your team play Game 7.
Because your calf is tight.
Because your calf is tight.
Yeah.
And you also played the game before on it and won and played
didn't limp.
well.
I guess in that
They shouldn't let him
world,
play Game 6.
He wouldn't have played Game 6.
That's why I meant to laugh.
He wasn't limping in Game 6. He looked completely fine.
And he also looked completely fine in Game 7. Meek Phil literally texted the group saying he was the healthiest guy anyone has ever seen.
That's the nature with these injuries where you can look that healthy, but then if you just plant it wrong, it's over.
Isn't that any injury?
No.
I know that calves lead to this, but man, it's so easy to say that right now. Whereas if you're in that locker room, you're just gonna not be out there with your boys.
If he played the whole game yesterday, you'd be like,
"What?"
If he played the whole game yesterday, you'd be like, "Oh, would they lie about his injury like that?" And they'd be like, "What?" If you saw Halliburton sit, he goes, "Hey guys, I'm not gonna play Game 7." He'd be the most hated person in the entire world.
Every player wants to play in that game. I'm not debating that. I'm saying the medical staff needs to take matters into their own hands and say,
Put your tweet back up, Phil. I didn't
we're
see
not
it. I'm
letting you
sorry.
play.
As they're a game
They
away
don't
from winning
have-
the championship.
Pacers
should've let
medical
him play Game
staff.
6.
Let's read
Yeah,
it.
the
Pacers
medical
medical
staff-
staff need to protect the
Guess
player.
what? They
from
don't have the
foul
final
before
call. The
career
medical
change.
staff.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. The player does.
Fine, especially when he's fine. When he physically is fine, they absolutely the medical staff cannot just say make him not play.
100%.
Absolutely,
No.
they absolutely.
Yes.
they don't have
That's a coach GM
You
player
can't.
conversation.
Literally,
yeah, right. But no, but
I
they-
literally think the owner
but
is the only one that can be
No, I think the GM. You can rule a guy out.
People need to step in and
GM or
stop it
owner?
from happening.
The coach cannot stop him. The
training staff can't
staff
just decide
stop
everything.
him.
That's not
GM
how
and
it
owner are
works.
the only two people that can stop
Yeah.
him. Because that's their franchise and be like, I will. They'd have to come out and say, I'm literally not. I'm going to chain him up and not let him play. It's basically the only way they can do that. But I think any competitor, there's no way you can keep him on the sideline. I don't think it should be a conversation.
No,
It's just super. It sucks. It's
to me,
just
it's not
super
even,
unfortunate.
it's not even a thought because he was just going to play. But I will say, going forward, it may change some. I still think regardless, no, I don't care even with this, Tatum's everything, no, Lillard, no one's sitting out of Game 7. But I think in different games,
I think
calf
yes.
strain, I don't like no one's sitting out of Game 7 ever.
I think it's the
Right.
second round he doesn't play.
That's fine.
And that's what I'm saying.
And that's
Going
totally
forward, I
different
think
to me.
people will
It's
look
very
at calf
different.
strains
Yes,
differently.
I think you shouldn't play in the second round.
Yeah.
I think you have to win. Yeah, this is one more game, and if he gets through this game, it's like, all right, we're all good.
All right, so I agree with you guys. But to Meek's point, though, should there have been a grown up in the room to be like, listen, for the sake of the franchise, we need to. I don't think so. I mean, how often do the Pacers get to a Game 7 NBA Finals? I think you have to pull out all the stuff.
You're here.
So hard to get there.
Everything for this.
That's what.
Like,
He's
you
also
throw the
not an
kitchen sink at this
18-year-old
game.
kid either. Like, this is not like he's what 25.
So like 24, 25.
Grown man, where it's like I'm playing in this game. You will have to kill me to not play in the game. And he kind of
Basically what we said, yeah.
It's like I dreamt of this, and yeah, it sucks. And he's out all next year. Yeah, it's horrible. But it's the whole thing sucks. And we also there's 7 of them in the NBA this year. 7 ruptured Achilles, whatever it is. 7 of them.
What you're going to see, though, I think, as I've alluded to, I think we said in the chat last night, like, calf injuries are now just going to be looked at as, like, a way more serious thing now.
Yeah.
If they weren't already, I guess
a
they
calf
weren't.
injury,
If he played in this game,
You're
then
not
they
playing
weren't.
for a month. Like
What?
in a season, you have a calf injury. You're not playing for a month.
Because
Like,
that clearly just increases your chances.
And
of
I am
torn
so
Achilles.
sick of watching it pop on TV.
I don't like that I just know exactly what
hard
it
on
is.
for showing it.
Yeah, it was like 2
Oh my
months.
They were showing it in slow-mo in the fourth quarter. They were still showing.
Oh, they were showing, like, intros into the fourth quarter. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Show
like,
it once. Show it
tune
once.
into this game. Boom! Like,
Someone
come on,
tweeted
man.
out
There's
like,
like
oh,
3 minutes left in the game with like slow-mo of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure ESPN, like, their update was like, Halburn out for the game, slipped on the court. I think that was what they said. I
He
was like,
slipped.
what? What?
He just slipped.
Yeah, just a slip. I don't
ESPN
know.
was bad. Fucking Stephen A. opens with that like crazy promo, like he's cutting a wrestling promo, and then he's fighting
What?
when he's like just yelling about
I didn't see it.
the game. I have like
I was watching the Mets Phillies was on like right until game time.
I turned that off once Peterson gave up the home run.
I just have no problem.
And
with
he's
it.
fighting
I
with
think
Perkins.
Stephen A. Smith. I think it's becoming a thing just to like hate him for like anything.
No.
I didn't see it, but
I saw
The solid
Titus
take
was in the
is
New York Post for shitting on him.
really,
Yeah.
It hasn't
I-
been great.
I-
It really hasn't been great.
I think we talked about when you weren't.
Production has not been good. ESPN.
Dude, their shows are. The
Presentation.
halftime shows are a
just-
joke.
I
It's
guess
just all
I just-
commercials.
I just don't fucking care what he's like. I guess I'm just different. Where I don't care what these people are saying before the game. I've never been like. Besides the TNT crew, I love watching them. But at the rest of them, I literally one ear out the other.
To Titus's point, though, it's like if you're trying, I want to watch the NBA Finals. I'm ready to watch the best of the best on the biggest stage here. I can't avoid Stephen A. Smith.
You can.
No, he's
Watch the
everywhere. He's everywhere.
Just watch the game. Like
Halftime show, he's right there screaming at me.
I'm not watching a halftime show.
Me neither. Yeah.
Why are you watching the halftime? I don't give a
I
fuck about the halftime
I
show.
threw the baseball game back on.
That's what I'm
That's what's
saying.
tough
I
is
go to
ES
sports. I'll watch
And
Love
then
Island
when
during
halftime was over, I put
halftime.
the basketball game.
Halftime
on.
show, I get snacks.
I do think ESPN is phenomenal with Breen. That like I love hearing Breen's voice.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but
Breen's great.
it's everything else
That's
around it. Is
what I care about. The
night.
game. Like I really like. I avoid any. Oh, I watched yesterday. I watched the intros, and then
Intros are cool, by the way.
Went to
That
the-
was actually like
Yeah, I like
adds
it.
to it.
I love that. I watched intros, then halftime, turned it off, right back on at
Fair.
third, and that's it. Like that's where it's like I think people just like to complain, but yeah, he is bad. I think he's always been pretty bad.
The solitaire thing, I don't think that was a tough blow.
That was tough.
Like I just think you.
I find that more funny
like,
than bad, but
truly, you can joke about it. Having like playing during the game and it being caught on camera, hand in the cookie jar, is I don't know. Like obviously he's still going to make his money and people are going to watch because they have to. But I don't think you can come back from that in terms of like you just clearly you don't love ball.
It's also the most boring
Unfortunately,
game.
I will bet you
Solitaire
this.
is the most
Oh,
boring.
Clemmer doesn't even play
You're at
solitaire.
the fucking NBA Finals. Like you don't love ball.
I'll
don't
tell you
love
this
ball.
though.
Blackjack.
Don't tell
I'll
me
tell
you
you
love
this
ball.
though. Ev, if you look at anyone,
Anyone.
right? If you look at any reporter like that, I can almost bet you most of them barely watch the games.
I disagree with that.
No,
there's definitely guys that don't. But I'm
I
saying,
think most.
I think there's a lot of guys that
I
are
don't know
hardcores
about
that
that.
really.
I think
are
100%.
watching. Absolutely.
I think
I think there's a lot more that don't
There's a
watch
lot
it
more than you
that
think.
you
No,
go
no,
right
I'm
there.
not saying they're deaf, but I'm saying
Which sucks.
I think
I'm not
they're-
saying watch like they definitely watch some, but like you think like I guarantee you watch more, and most of us watch more than more of those guys on ESPN.
I know that, but I'm saying I think there are some guys that really do.
Of course, there's some, but no, I think majority don't. I think a lot of it's like, what let me see the box score. Let me see the headlines. Let me see what tweets are going out. Like that's mostly what.
That's fine. But if you're in the building,
yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
different.
Well, there's also a ton of
I'm
guys
not-
who
I'm
watch
not
it. They
saying
watch
that.
it in the fucking press room.
correct.
That don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't know about the finals, but I know for NCAA and stuff like that, there's definitely in the Final Four. There's a million, and also seats. The seats suck. There's guys who watch it on TV while they're working on the columns, so to speak. So yeah, I think there is a portion that definitely don't watch the game.
100%.
Portion,
Of course.
portion for sure.
Wake up in the morning and
Dan Patrick's guy, Paul Pabst, he was like, Bob Myers was the GM when KD tore his Achilles in the finals. They didn't ask him about it at halftime. They just didn't. Hey, you want to share your interaction? You've literally seen this. They didn't.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe he just didn't want to? Like that was like they were like, please
I
don't
don't
ask him
know.
about this.
You literally have a direct account of this.
Or maybe they
also a
wanted to wait till
long time
after the
ago.
game because you don't want to take away from like.
I don't think
like,
they even asked him after the game.
I don't know, I'm just trying to
Just
spitball.
doing an SVP.
Because it's relevant with the current moment. Like it's not like he's asking about the KD trade.
Meek,
It's an identical situation.
It's like if
It
you ask about the
is.
KD trade, like at halftime, I'd be like, all right, like what are we doing?
Hey, dude, you know he had this
I think you
calf
guys
thing. You
are-
pushed him through. He tore his
Achilles,
Achilles.
yeah.
I also thought
KD is
Stephen A's
wait,
also-
You're saying you don't think they should be talking about the KD trade?
No, we're saying
no,
that.
no,
They,
no.
Oh
like,
no, he's saying
they
it's not
should
about
have
the
asked
trade.
about the
It's-
Achilles.
When KD popped his
Bob
Achilles against the
Myers.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Like as he was a GM of a team that went through that exact thing, they should have asked him about it.
Yes. Okay.
I also thought Stephen A's act forever has been. He's almost one of those guys who doesn't necessarily believe what he's saying all the time. He's looking to get a rise out. Same with Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
But to be
Jim
fair, that
Rome
is
to a
their-
degree. There's
that
a
is
ton
their
of those
job.
guys. What?
Unfortunately, that's their job. Like, there's a reason
Tucker
why,
Carlson of sports.
like people, if they don't do that, like it's kind of boring. Like Stephen A. And what does Skip? Like Skip has the worst takes, but you kind of want to hear him out.
I also
because
think
they're
Skip-
You also wonder if they're intentionally
But
bad.
the TNT guys
I
don't
think they are.
bullshit. The TNT guys say everything.
no, the TNT
They
are
don't.
great.
Yeah, well, they also.
That's why they're so
they're
good.
they're like.
but they're
like-
not looking
like
to just.
Chuck doesn't watch the game.
But he's
Exactly,
up
which I like
front.
that. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like they're
100%. Don't
great.
try and lie to my face. That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it's great when you have the one. Or you have Ernie who's watching the game.
Yeah.
I think Ernie watches every single second.
Yeah.
I think Kenny watches.
And he watches.
And I think the two of them
Shaq
are
and-
so
yeah.
famous and doing other things, and they like tune in and out. Like they're like, and they're funny. That you need that. I think
At
that's
least
perfect.
At least they're like honest to the audience.
And I believe their takes. I think their takes are.
And also they played, so those you believe them more. What they say, you want to listen to them more. Like when you have Stephen A. Like us, they didn't like Stephen A. didn't play. You know, but you know that he's like you said. He's
I want to push back on Meek for a second. So Meek, you love the Knicks so much. You giant Knicks fan. You guys go to the NBA Finals, something you can't even imagine. You got Jalen Brunson gonna miss Game 6 and 7 with this calf thing. You would be like, sit him.
I think the medical staff, I protect the player.
I don't believe
You're
you.
a liar.
don't
You
believe
know
that.
you're a liar.
Don't believe you.
If we were a massive underdog, like I wouldn't take that risk either.
You're such
Down
a
3-2.
fucking
You're down
liar,
3-2. Same
bro.
situation.
You know what? Maybe I hope we're in the same exact scenario as them next year.
I know, but
No,
that's
you
not
don't.
answer the
You're
question.
You're saying
Oh.
if it's a big point spread in Game 7, that can go any which way, and we've seen Game 7s. You know, anyone can.
You just won as a.
That's it. You rule it out.
One as a.
you would
minus.
not sit Brunson. You would not be okay with it.
I would not have played him in Game 6.
You think the medical staff is like, oh, guys, we're a 9-point dog. We can't do it.
Yes.
Let's be very clear about something. If Tyrese Halliburton did not play Game 6 and Game 7, Meek Phil would have been calling him the
No, I
biggest
wouldn't.
pussy
Yes.
on the
No, I
earth.
wouldn't.
Yes.
Called Saquon a coward.
He would have called
Well, I
him a
stand by
coward,
that.
a pussy.
You would have,
He would have
yeah.
said he's a sellout, quit on his team. Whatever adjective you can use to just call the guy like a bad guy, just leave it.
And the stain never would have gone away.
So, Meek
You would have
Phil
called him that to the
would
end of
just-
his career.
Halliburton got injured in the conference finals last year with the hamstring. They kept him out. So I didn't call him pussy then.
But that's totally.
But he wasn't like able to hamstring different because
That's
hamstring
literally-
literally can't move.
It's also
He can move here.
different.
Like,
Well, now
Game-
he can't move at all.
Game 7 of the champion. Like you know you're lying to yourself right now. If Jalen Brunson like said he can go, and then the team said he's not playing, you'd fucking.
I'm not a
lose your mind.
doctor. The doctor should have stepped in.
See, they're an ass.
I think he's
Lying.
incapable of like not seeing past the hindsight 2020.
Yeah, because
That's
just
really
because
what
it
it comes down
happened, they would never said this if any like.
Also,
he wouldn't have said he shouldn't have played last night. if
there
they
was a
won.
50-50 shot. Brunson tears his Achilles, but it's Game 7. What do you do?
Playing,
You have to.
Oh, yeah.
and he would play.
And you would be okay with playing him.
It's
Of the
it's
NBA
tough,
any
it's a
other
tough
round,
decision.
no.
You're a fucking liar.
It's a tough
You're a
decision.
liar. I don't
It's a
believe
tough
Like,
decision.
conference
I do not believe you.
championship-
None
conference
of us believe you.
championship,
We all
yes.
think you're a liar.
Because he is.
he'd be
He's
shit
a
talking
hard.
Halliburton out the ass.
Which is
I'd be roasting Halliburton right
It's a
now.
tough decision. I
Roasting
wouldn't have done it.
it was an impossible decision, Meek, for both sides. So you have to sometimes it's just like, all right.
He could be bringing up all those
no
guys
wrong
who
answer.
played through those
Everyone did the
injuries
right
in the
thing.
Stanley Cup. Right now, he'd be bringing up Kachuk, had the
Well, I don't give a fuck about
MCL.
hockey.
But you would be doing it. You would be comparing those guys to how soft Halliburton was.
Imagine if Acuna or some, like a rival or Philly player that was a situation.
Well, he missed the entire playoffs with a torn ACL, and they won a World Series without him. So probably you shouldn't ever play again.
MVP.
Yeah.
He's doing it. He's doing his whole bits thing.
thing, yeah.
Speaking of hockey, though, my favorite thing yesterday was the side-by-side celebrations.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
'Cause we have the OKC that was the most. It was truly the most boring.
I've never cared
it was like
for-
the Celtics fans
I
winning
think it's not
yesterday.
fair.
It was awful. Like it was like they won the first championship of their franchise, Game 7, and it was like the most boring. Like they first of all didn't know how to open champagne. Second, one
Relatable. That's like, all right, I get
That was
they're young.
funny.
They're all young.
It was
It's funny.
funny.
That's the only memorable part of their
after
celebration.
that, it was still like so boring.
What do you want them to do, though?
I want them to be happy. They weren't happy.
They were
Yeah, but
happy.
that Melisic side by side was such a sandbag.
It was,
But
but
like, because in
don't think
hockey,
it was-
but in hockey you celebrate because they have like a handshake line. Like the NBA, they basically did the handshake. They basically dapped all the other guys in the Pacers first. And
this
then
had
celebrate.
nothing to do with a handshake line.
But it
This
does
was
because
in
you-
the locker
because
room when it
dog-
was all over.
It's like the dog pile and all that celebrating is
Oh,
like
on ice. I'm not talking about on the court.
That's what the side by side was.
I understand, but also they also did a side by side and showed like in the locker room of the Florida Panthers, and it was fucking berserk in there.
Well, yeah, because they're a bunch of they're like party
Hockey
guys.
animals.
I'm just saying.
They're
What
just like
what are
party
we
guys.
arguing there? I think you think I'm right because they was boring as fuck. They're celebrating. I don't care
I
if
think,
it's,
it's a sandbag. I think it's
why is it sandbag?
I just told you why.
No, you didn't. You just said it. What happened in the videos? It's just.
Refuse to. You're just saying no.
No, I'm not. You're saying no.
He's just saying. Ev's just saying it's two different like
It's two
types of
different
people.
situations.
I understand.
These guys are
Like
party
the
animals.
hockey
One was boring, one
celebrate,
wasn't.
And then they literally all stop because what if you just showed the handshake line and showed the thunder like the ending? I'd be like, oh, like look, it's the same thing.
Without the
they just showed a
NHL,
different
without
cut.
the NHL one, I would have just still saw them in the locker room and was like, all right, that was it. It was a boring celebration. What's wrong with
I
that?
don't get the celebration police thing. You guys did to me with the Celtics. They like what is this line of like, oh, you're not celebrating the right way?
Because and there's no right way. I think it's okay to say it was a boring celebration after.
Sure, I
100%.
guess.
And
I don't
think
think
second is that like because my favorite thing about sports is how much time and effort these guys put into it, and the Florida guys were talking about like how much emotion, how much like strain on their life it is, and they fucking go berserk. Florida Panthers are still celebrating now. It's been a week.
Sure.
Where it's like an NBA, and it's nothing, dude. They can do whatever they want. They won. I don't give a fuck. But talking about it, it's like, I don't know. It's nice to see when these guys like let loose after a fucking whole season, and like after the game, it was boring.
You think that a bunch of them are kind of just low key though?
That's
Might
the thing.
be,
That's
yeah.
exactly
I think
what it
Shea
is.
is
But it's
definition
still
of-
okay. It's
No, Dennis
fucking
Rodman's
boring.
not-
I
his
wouldn't
team.
know.
He's not going
I wouldn't know
crazy.
Chet's
It's more of a
voice
chill
if
team.
he's fucking standing behind me. You know, like
would,
that's just
you would because of the AT&T commercials.
that makes sense. Also, kind of is what it is. I did think it was weird they didn't cut down the nets.
The joke, and even the locker room, they're saying like half the guys had never taken a sip of alcohol before.
Oh, I don't believe that.
I don't
I think a lot.
Just because they're young, you mean to tell me they haven't
Ooh,
drank before?
one person.
No, but there was a couple guys. But I'm saying
They had
also,
to open champagne.
These guys are
They're
like
young kids.
Opening champagne is funny. That was
These guys are
it's
also
great.
like basketball. Like they're hoopers. Like
Yes.
they weren't like a bunch of like degens like us that were like partying and all through like college. This like these guys were doing basketball. Like
I don't
that.
know about
Someone's got to tell Hartenstein how to hold his.
Caruso. You don't think
Shea
Alex
and
Caruso?
Jalen
You don't
Williams
think Alex
are just-
Caruso was drinking?
Not a lot. I'm sure.
Oh no, Caruso I think was the only
Yeah,
one.
I know.
I'm
That's what
saying, no,
he-
you picked the only
was.
guy who probably was drinking.
I don't know why like I can't say it was a boring celebration.
It was boring,
can.
but like, but
But
It
I'm
was
not gonna
fucking
like
boring.
I'm
Like,
gonna
what are we talking
mostly
about?
shit on them.
I don't
so,
care,
yeah,
I guess.
There's
teach their
no
own.
one that's like
That's
a lifelong Oklahoma City Thunder fan. They've been around for like 17 years. Like there's no like generations passed this down. Like no
And
like.
but this is why people are saying it was like because they don't
it's not
care
true.
about it.
You're wrong. How old are you?
I'm 27.
All right, so if you lived in Oklahoma City, you'd be 10 when they got there. You would have considered yourself a lifelong Thunder fan.
It's not like something that gets passed down through generations.
I know, but
like, Like,
you,
you had,
you,
like-
you would be just if you lived in Oklahoma City, you'd be just as excited if the
You'd-
Thunder won than the next one.
You'd
If
be
you-
excited, but it feels like too recent for a team to win. I guess. Like
17 years, there's only 30 teams in the league.
I get it.
They also were the Sonics. I mean,
Yes.
I imagine being a former Seattle
That's
Supersonics
different.
fan watching this happen.
You know what would have been worse when they made it the finals the first time? Because it was so close to when they moved. That
Yeah.
sucked.
Do you know what would have been too recent to win? When the KD team. If that team had
And
won. Like,
they've-
this isn't too recent.
They've existed for like 17 years. Maybe only had like 2 or 3 bad teams. Like they've
I
been a
know.
consistently good
They
team.
have,
Yeah.
Hopefully Seattle gets a team. It sounds like expansion might be on the table. You guys.
Oh, expansion.
Very soon. Oh, expansion.
So the
Hopefully they'll
other,
get a team soon.
yeah, the
They just
other,
like do ASMR expansion with you.
Oh,
You just,
right.
like,
So the-
get
I love
off.
expansion.
people could say, yeah, I mean, Oklahoma City's not necessarily like Hollywood and drama and whatever. They're low key, but they are the champions. And the other thing, we're sitting on a precipice, whether you like it or not. Like I said, it is interesting to watch them now rise to the forefront. You have a different type of team. They do have the same remnants or DNA of that Golden State-like dynasty. There's a lot of similarities with that. The other thing, though, that Golden State didn't have going for it is, my God, do the Thunder have assets.
Oh, yeah.
Holy balls. I mean, I didn't know, or I had forgot about this kid Topic that you like
Nikola.
love him.
overseas.
Topic.
Champion. Third youngest champion ever.
Champion.
Third
So
youngest champion.
NBA champion.
he was the
NBA
12th. He was the 12th pick. They obviously like him.
Jersey.
6'6", like wing. So that's an asset.
He's a 6'6" point guard.
If
He's already working out. I saw he looks awesome.
yeah, all right. If you get even anything,
Right, if
if
he's
he's
like
a nice role
if he's a
player,
rotation
He's a 7th
guy.
guy on the
I'm
team.
telling
That's
you,
a
I'm
huge
telling you,
win.
give it like wait till in like 2027 he's like 6th man of the year.
home run.
On an NBA title.
Anything.
Watch.
If he's a 3-and-D guy, anything
Yeah,
can happen with this team. 2 picks in the first round this year.
15 and 24.
One in
Used
the
to combine to trade up.
100%. One in the second
In
round.
this draft.
2026, 3 first rounds, 1 second. 2027, 2 first rounds, 2 second. 2028, 3 first rounds. 2029, 2 first, 4 seconds.
Are any of those like golden picks, like other teams' picks?
Yeah, a few of them
Remember
are
protected.
There's like a Clippers
and-
pick in there,
Clippers
and a
pick in there.
Mavs pick in
But
there.
one of them's
Next year's
Philly, and it's only 1 to 4 protected. Another one's Utah, 1 to 8. So maybe you hope Utah like hits.
Oh,
right
so
outside.
they'll have Philly's pick.
Yeah, they could
Next
get
year,
Utah's
yeah.
if Utah's does a little bit better. We'll see what happens. But yeah, man, lot of assets.
Now, like
Lot of
they're gonna
assets.
have to make decisions at some point, but they don't have to make that decision for I think 2 years.
They have set themselves up phenomenally for the next 2 years.
Yeah,
They'll be good, but I think dynasty talk is just premature till they win a second. Like
Presti, right? Presti's the GM.
sure, but
it's
they're
just so hard.
yeah,
we
they're-
saw how hard it was to win this one.
It is, but
It's a
they're now
dynasty,
in that they're.
All right, well, no,
stage-
here's-
That's more of an
Yeah.
inside track.
But we
than them.
have this talk after every change. Like we thought Boston would be a dynasty after last year, and now look, like Tatum's out. Like you don't know when they'll be back.
No, I agree. I mean, things change, Phil. But here's the thing: Oklahoma City is now like if this is a video game. They've gotten to a spot now where it's like, or whatever, or a game show. Like unlock the chest. They got to pick. They got to do the right thing here with the different chests. These
Yeah.
picks have to succeed, or they have to mortgage a bunch of them for the right superstar, not an aging type of guy. But
Anything
they,
to add on though would be
like they're going in.
They don't
they're in
even
a
need
great
to hit
position.
on-
They don't need to hit on.
Yeah, they have to make the right decisions.
No, they
They
No,
don't.
they don't. That's the thing.
At all.
They don't.
They're already a championship
Youngest
team out there.
guys on the team that they already just won a championship. Like obviously
I'm
you
saying
want to
they
hit
have
on
to
it.
make the right decisions to keep it going of the 3 or 4.
They
Like,
don't though. They have it.
they-
Okay, all right.
It's
No,
icing on the cake.
it's not obviously you want to make the right decisions, of course, but like I feel like they just won one early in their process of like creating this team. You know,
Well, what they
Yeah,
don't.
but I think in the NBA, it's an arms race. Look at what Houston did. Like you always got to get better.
No, of course,
course,
but that's
of
why they.
course.
But they've. I mean, look at what they've done. Like they drafted Jalen Williams 2 years ago as the 12th pick. No one was thinking twice. about
which
this
was a
guy.
reach.
Now he's
at that
Yeah.
time was a
People
reach.
thought-
Santa Clara, like
they thought he was gonna be a late round pick. He kind of like lit up the workouts and stuff. He goes in the lottery, and 2 years later, he's an all-star. 3 years later, all-star champ, like number 2 guy in the NBA championship team. I mean, they don't have to extend him for 2 years. Holmgren for 2 years.
If we're moving on to next year, I think next year's title is wide open still.
100%,
Like,
of course it
OKC is
is.
really, really good. They're not they're not unbeatable. Like,
I'm
they
with-
got
They're
taken
not
to 7
unbeatable.
twice.
I'm
I
with
know, but I think you have
Miko
to
where-
say like the spot they put themselves.
Yeah, like, this
in,
isn't-
where.
they're in a great spot. But I'm with Meek. I don't like if you had to ask you right now, are they going to be like this Golden State type of dynasty or like even
It's a
like,
big. It's a big mountain to climb.
I'm not even saying Golden State, but like saying like winning. Do you think they'll win a championship, another one in the next 3 years? I actually don't know if I'd be like. Obviously, it's so hard. It's easier
hard
to say no.
Possible.
It's easier to say no, but it's definitely because the West is truly so fucking insane. I think it was easier for us to say with the Celtics because like the Celtics have the 3rd best odds next year without Tatum. That's crazy.
Crazy, the Knicks have 2.
Knicks are 2nd and Cavs are 1. Like
That's
that's
200 points.
bro. The
Oh, the Cavs wouldn't be
yesterday.
1; they would be 4.
The most recent I saw, the Cavs were slightly ahead of the Knicks.
In the East, they're one.
Cavs are plus 255. Liam can
What are you
put the
talking about?
odds up
I
now.
thought the Knicks were
Is it right there?
all time. Yeah, okay.
That's
Just to win the East.
Oh,
That's
East.
conference winner.
All right, to go to title. I thought the Knicks were second overall.
Like third. Or
Third, they've moved. Okay.
I saw
Fourth,
it, but no,
full
Rico.
time
Yesterday at some point they were
They were
750
second.
and they were
Yeah,
second.
Yeah. I saw that.
Warriors 20-1.
The like, what's the Mavericks? All right, 40 to 1.
41.
You like that Warriors
Kyrie.
20-1 maybe?
I'll
No,
be
okay. No, definitely the whole year.
Probably most of it at least.
the Magic 22-1. I mean, now we're just going to a different conversation.
The Rockets are going to be
Yeah, so that
Love
leads,
their trade.
That's to the next segue.
A+ trade for Houston.
A+.
Can we just talk quick, this Shea thing, just a legacy thing. Just I think it's such a bizarre. Like he had he won scoring title, MVP, Finals MVP,
Never happened before.
and I feel like it's like people are just kind of like about it.
He's
Like, it's
not a
bizarre.
fun-
Well, the conference MVP is new. So,
No, he won the scoring title, Finals MVP, and regular season MVP.
okay, right.
Never happened before.
No, I think that-
Jordan's done it 4
Yeah,
times.
that's how
He did something. No.
conference MVP.
Conference with that.
That
That's
conference
never
is
happened.
new.
I was saying.
Oh, okay, I see what you're
scoring
Jordan
title,
didn't have
scoring title,
conference.
Finals
Got
MVP,
it.
regular season MVP. I think it's happened 5 players, but Jordan's done it 4 times.
Got it.
Or maybe he's the 4th. Shea was 4th or 5th, regardless.
I think LeBron's done it too, right?
I think LeBron once. I think somebody else, maybe Kareem. I think has done it once. I think, but just for like a legacy thing. I mean, this should like solidify him as like on an all-time great. Like he's so young.
He's right. He's right on the precipice.
It's
He's
on
right
paper,
there.
It's on paper one of the greatest seasons in NBA history.
Absolutely.
this,
Like I
though.
feel
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about it this morning and last night. I think it's so bizarre for someone to accomplish those things. And if you asked like a random person in the street, they either like wouldn't know who he was,
I know.
or would just be like, I don't know how they'd feel about him as like
Because you know why? It
like he doesn't
sucks.
excite you the same way
No.
that like
Boring.
anyone that had done
every
that
way.
would excite you.
He's unfortunately boring in every way, which I like. I like him. It's nothing to do with me. But if you watch him play basketball, he's not like the most exciting guy. He's very technical. He does step backs. Like he's not like making like what's a highlight he had last night. It's just he's an amazing basketball player. You know,
He's a
like
really good defender.
Anthony Edwards is doing things where you see online, you're like, holy
Dunks,
shit! Like
threes.
SGA is better than Anthony Edwards,
course.
but he is more. If you look at someone who actually Anthony Edwards against SGA, it's like
It's the
like
aesthetic
night
of the
and day
game.
almost. He's a boring player, but he's really fucking good. He also like is not vocal. Like he doesn't talk much. He's when they won the championship yesterday, he smiled, he smirked.
Clemmer, give me like I was too young. Like, what's the thoughts on like Duncan's first? Because Duncan is someone not like the most
Boring.
exciting. Like, but even when he
Literally
wins-
called Mr.
No,
Fundamental.
but I'm saying like bring it to like not like 90s. Like he wins.
Malone and Stockton. Boring.
I'm saying like a Duncan, like because Duncan.
Oh, when they won the
you know
first
what I mean?
one, it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool because Dave Robinson, who had a lot of personality,
course.
he won. He's so young. When they won the second one, it was a yawn. The second one,
It's
like,
like I remember the
What was
second
the second
one.
one?
I remember the
03?
second one vividly. But
Second one was 03.
right after the Lakers.
I remember that. I would say
Yeah.
the first one, like '99. I was just curious, like, because for me, it was more of the similarities of like winning their first championship.
I think David Robinson helped that.
That's fair. They had like a star that had been
Yeah.
there a long
Who
time.
won in '99?
Lakers.
Spurs.
Oh, the
Spurs.
second one
They
was
beat the Knicks.
Right.
That was the
Yes,
first
yeah,
Spurs.
Spurs
one.
beat the Knicks.
That's what I said. No, that's what I was like.
And the
Clemmer,
second
I
one
was
was 03.
And then it was
Like,
Lakers,
4 years
Lakers, Lakers.
I
Pistons,
remember all the other ones. I
Spurs,
was
right?
Yeah, I
saying
got
that when
it.
I was 4 years old.
I
I
got
just
it.
wanted the pulse of like the moment of
I
like.
got it.
What were people saying about Duncan? Because I just think there's some similarities.
But like the boring team of the '90s was the Jazz with Malone Stockton. That was like instant bore. But everyone acknowledged that it's still really good.
Jerry Sloan is their coach. He looks like he works as a funeral director. Yeah, I mean they didn't have.
It's just it's just fascinating. Like you just think you'd put those things together in a season, and you're thinking about this guy.
I
He
know.
must be
Oh, you're right.
the biggest star in the world. It's
Yeah.
the
I know.
NBA. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Just how it works. Yeah.
Bizarre. Like
Yeah, you're not wrong, Ev. And maybe we become even more of a we need guys to be exciting society than we ever have been. I don't know, or maybe it's just.
Well, no, I mean, dude, even look at Mike Trout. Like for a while, when he was playing, he was still like, this guy's boring.
He wanted to talk about the weather.
Like he just didn't care about anything. Where if you get somebody like Tatis Jr. is someone that's exciting. He does bat flips. It's like I'd rather watch him than Mike Trout sometimes. Not as a baseball fan, I like Mike Trout better because I love baseball. But like fans just like more
I
excitement.
mean, aside from
would-
if Brady didn't have those controversies, he would be the all-time most boring guy too.
Yeah.
Like the Patriots added to the
was-
sense. Oh,
but he-
Deflategate.
The only reason
Gate.
the only reason Tom Brady is like how it's because it's 7. He's won so many. You have to talk about him. You know, like if SGA only wins
he's
one,
a boring fucking guy.
no,
too.
that's what I'm saying. But he's
but
won
it's
so much. He's
yeah,
so good. But if SGA only wins one, like he'll be like kind of forgotten about.
Yeah, I agree.
What I'm saying is stupid. But it's back to the first thing though. It's more about the on court boring because like even like Trout wasn't exciting to watch him play baseball, but he was a boring personality.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference where like Shea I think has a little bit of both going for him.
Yeah, he does.
Like he's like you talk about like Trout was hitting mammoth home runs and watching him roam the outfield and like rob home runs and everything, like make crazy catches. Like I think that was more exciting. Like just visually, like you watch it. And
You watch Shea, he literally, it's like he's kind of like one-on-one, gets separation, shoots right over him. Like it's just like it's classic, but it's like I don't remember the last time I see him dunk.
Yeah, I don't think this is a new thing either. I think like when I was a kid, it was a really exciting play. It was Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins is so much fun to watch. It's so exciting. But those teams weren't winning shit.
Yeah.
Right. But that was one of the.
You know who that is?
But you knew who it was. You were excited to watch them, but yet you weren't excited to watch Malone and Stockton. A few years later, even though that was a much better team.
Yeah, Lou Dort had 2 plays yesterday that were more memorable than anything Shea did. The bomb 3 and that like Kyrie layup he hit like underneath.
And the flop.
And the flop.
I mean, he does flop a lot.
But yeah, this Durant trade. Durant goes to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10 pick in 2025, and then 5 second-round picks to Phoenix.
Great trade.
5 second-round picks.
The
make you
Rockets
laugh.
fleeced them. Jalen Green's an awful basketball player, an awful contract.
I push back on that.
Rockets.
What? He's not
Call him
awful.
They're not going anywhere with him.
But it's not.
He's
it's
22
a
years
good,
old.
I think it's a good. I think for what they're going to sign KD. I think it was a great trade for them.
I think there's a chance Jalen Green has a better year than than Kevin Durant.
I think
that's
there's
stupid.
zero chance.
Unless
of that.
KD gets hurt, which if you're are you leading on injury? Like
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he missed 20 games last year. I think so Jalen Green played every game last year. I think
What
there's
was the
value
number-
to be in the court.
What was the numbers of last year? Even with 20 games missed, I guarantee Kevin Durant had a better year
he did.
He did.
with 20 games missed.
I know, but
So it's like
I think
even
that
like-
though but that is I think a slope that he's going to keep going. I think he's going to miss more. I don't think it gets better from there.
Oh, I disagree. I think that he's honestly been playing so well that also the Rockets are going for it. They know they have a good They have a good young core where they're like, we need a superstar. Jalen Green is not going to be that.
Is
And
Durant that guy though?
Yes.
He's just so old.
I think Clemmer, look at it. Think about like just in your brain, like picture the Rockets Warriors series. Like I just think if you throw Durant in there instead of like some of the guys like a Brooks and like Green, like I think they
difference
probably win
maker.
the series.
I agree.
we say
They
the
could've
Rockets
used
need
that
it.
shot making, and the big thing
So
about
they
the-
needed a go-to scorer.
That's the big thing with the Rockets.
do.
At the end of the game, they don't know who's going to shoot the ball.
I know.
Like, now
The reason
there's-
they have the second
right.
best odds to win
the
it
ball.
all.
Don't you wish it was a different scorer though than him?
Oh,
No.
Phil said the
That's what
Rockets
I want.
still have because I love watching Durant score.
I do too, but I think
Phil, don't you say the Rockets have a ton of assets?
I like to watch
The,
Larry
Ro-
Bird
the
score,
Rockets
too.
still have.
The Rockets didn't give up anything.
They still have the Suns picks for 2027 and 2029.
They also didn't have to touch Whitmore or Eason.
This
Yeah.
is the other.
Yeah,
part.
so the rotation now is
Maury Smith.
Sengun,
Maury
Van
Smith too.
Vliet,
Yeah, for sorry. Yeah.
Sengun, Van Vliet, Amen Thompson, Eason, Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, and Durant. That's a great 7.
And you can make another move.
and they're not done.
Do you think that
Yeah,
they
what
go?
was his? Was he hurt? Why'd they move
He was
him
in
down?
the G League.
Their team was too
Shepard.
good.
Is that really what it
Just
was?
never
They
got going.
couldn't really
I'm
kinda
saying like
find
still
him?
like he's a guy that I think still has a lot of potential.
Yeah. They almost just didn't have any like.
Yeah, but I
room
think
for him
that's
in
one
the
of those things. If
rotation.
you can't
I mean,
like,
Van Vliet, like you're not
kind of
gonna
weird.
play
You
him.
can't get going. You're supposed to get going if you're the.
I think the rotation was like they had a lot of guards. I think he kind of just
Bad draft
19
anyway.
years
Where
old.
it's
Yeah, I
like,
mean he's young.
There's this part is Phoenix that now has 3 shooting guards. I think their entire roster is just all guards.
Yeah, but they can make trades.
they're making
So-
all.
but
They're
Now,
going to
there
trade
is a-
Green. So what's that say much? Like I don't think
An
anyone
deal?
wants this dude.
They don't.
No winning team
There
wants that guy
is
on their
a-
team.
There is a trade they can make. What if Houston's like, oh, you want your 2027, 2029 picks back? Give us Devin Booker. We'll take both off your hands and leave Bradley Beal and Phoenix all
Devin
alone.
Booker is.
So here are
gonna
the
be until he
here are the
dies.
game played that Kevin Durant has played since his injury. Obviously missed the whole year. Then he came back, played 32 games, 55, 47, 75, 62. Like that's troubling to me.
Not
75-62 is like not
47,
To be honest though,
55?
The last two are like
the last two
62 is not great.
Trent,
Yeah.
it is. 62.
long as you're good in the playoffs,
You also
I think you're
don't
fine with
need
that.
like nowadays. Like you don't want Kevin Durant playing 75 games.
No,
Like that's the thing. Like,
well-
you
He
wanna
has a
keep,
much better roster where like, he's not going to like,
He
have
won't-
the
right.
most effort.
You're
Like,
absolutely
Yeah,
right.
that's where it's like you want him more like rest.
He's
Yeah.
going to be 37 next year.
well, this is also the most rested he's been his entire career. Missed the playoffs.
I think it's a fantastic.
I read some of those other years where he was pretty rested. 47 games, 55 games.
I don't care how much rest Green has. I don't want him on my team.
Thank you.
You guys are that down.
I think
on him,
it's
huh?
also.
I think it shows too with the league, like the fact that the Suns they don't want any part of him
Yeah,
either.
I
Like,
said this-
you would think he's the perfect guy.
The Suns have no. Show me no analysis of talent though.
They're going to make the 2010s
The last couple
Nets
years.
look
You
like
would
the
think
Bulls.
a young guy like him. Oh, we got him. Let's build around him. Maybe if he's this guy, like they just like no, let's flip him.
It's a perfect I think you have to give credit to the Rockets of not giving up anyone that they really want, and two, it's like they know the West is so good and also young, they're going for it.
Yeah.
It's like if we don't get Kevin Durant now, what are we gonna do? Who are you
Who
gonna
else
get?
could they have gotten? Like a scorer.
No one really,
no one better than
unless
Kevin
it's
Durant.
like
No one better than
Well,
KD.
okay,
what they
remember,
gave
it's
up,
Kevin
too.
Durant now. It's not Kevin Durant from 10 years
But it's
ago.
1 year, Kevin
Still-
Durant.
It's,
You're-
if you give me Kevin Durant last year,
you're giving him way less credit than how good he was last year and how good he's
He was
been.
very good
2
last year.
years he's been great.
Last 2 years, yeah. Like I know he's old. Like 100%, I understand 37.
I just worried for that other shoe to drop on him.
So, who would you rather have on your roster? Would you rather go up 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane, or just what they gave up for KD?
It's a good question.
100% KD.
I'd rather
Yeah.
have KD if I'm the Rockets.
Especially,
for
yeah,
that deal.
especially if you have all the pieces around it, like Houston does.
Yeah, which they do, and they were so good this
It's a
year.
good question, Meek.
They were
That's a
so
fair
good
question.
this year without a scorer.
4 number ones is so
Dylan Brooks sucks. He is not a good back. He's defensively he's fine.
They're not missing Green or Brooks.
That's what I'm saying. Where like they did it last year with them. Like
You traded Eason. That's like, that was a good
Jabari Smith,
rotation.
like, hey, he's trending upwards. Like,
They literally got rid of the 2 guys they wanted to get rid of.
Correct.
Why didn't the Heat get more aggressive on this? Like
He didn't give up anything.
they wouldn't give up Jovic.
Nothing.
They wouldn't give up.
Oh, I thought they
I
would
I misread it.
Because that's right. When you read that one, I was like, Hawkins and Jovic are 2 like young, good pieces.
Weren't they offering like Highsmith?
They wouldn't even give up. They wouldn't offer
They wouldn't give up
Highsmith. They
Highsmith.
wouldn't give up
Yeah.
Jovic. They wouldn't give up Hawkins. Was it just like Duncan Robinson
which
in
is
the
weird
first?
with Hawkins because Hawkins like stopped playing towards the end of the year. Like they weren't playing him much
And
at all.
now, if you're the Heat, knowing you have Boston's not going to win next year, Indiana's not going to win next year, Milwaukee's not going to win next year. Like, it's like you could have just traded for Kevin Durant and been like, what, like the 3rd best odds in the East, maybe? Like,
No,
feels like a missed opportunity.
almost when you think with the Halliburton injury, like, do people try and add some more?
Like,
This is our chance.
does Detroit go like, oh, like we
Detroit's
want
gotta
Devin
get
Booker?
someone.
Yeah,
It has to.
right.
Detroit
I
needs
just keep
somebody.
tossing Devin Booker out there because the Suns are just they have to
No,
blow it up.
I agree.
I think we got to
there's a real
stop
window for
tossing out there
Detroit.
because he's just not getting
Yeah,
traded.
he doesn't care. He doesn't want to.
Like I think it's futile. He's not moving.
It's just shocking someone wouldn't get so aggressive that they would pull the trigger. Like you think a team like that or like the Rockets, somebody would be aggressive enough, be like, we want Booker. What's it gonna take?
I think
He
they
doesn't want to
also-
leave.
I think
He doesn't have no
they-
trade clause though.
That's
Like,
it.
But
It
like
could be
that's
down
all,
to
the
him.
NBA. Like you don't need one. If
I
you
think-
just don't want
no,
to play
you
for
could
teams,
still-
no one's going to trade for you.
You could trade him.
Not really though. Kevin Durant.
He do not
Kevin
play?
Durant literally just.
I never understand that.
No, but
Kevin Durant literally just
but
picked
teams
where he wanted
just
to
don't
go.
want to deal with that situation. They'd rather a
Shit.
guy want to be there.
Tough titties
KD
make the milk
literally-
dry. Is he making $60 million a year? He's gonna play.
Adam
He's gonna
Silver's
sign-
league.
He's going to sign a 2-year extension that's $75 million.
But KD
guess what?
just
He's
did
gonna
it.
play. He's gonna
KD just showed everyone where he just said, This is where I want to go."
King.
All right.
Devin Booker's 3 years on his contract left for the record. 3 full years.
Who's more famous, Squidward or John Travolta?
What
John
happened to you?
It's Squidward. It's not even close.
Squidward, yeah.
Squidward.
Yeah, I think Squidward.
I think among people who are 35 and under, it's Squidward. I think among people 35 or older,
Oh, I think the older people,
it's
the
still-
parents,
People
know
have
who it
kids
is,
too, though. Squidward.
Squidward.
What a drop-in question.
Actually appreciate it.
That was a great question.
Squidward and all.
We have to go.
We're gonna go film this.
Our
Yeah,
basketball
all right.
team has a practice that we need to be there for.
Our basketball team without Clemmer.
The last question
Well,
I will
Clemmer
give
left.
you guys to chew on is where do the Celtics rank in the West now?
Celtics in the West.
I'm sorry.
Why would they be in the West?
All right, I'm surprised.
They'd
he
probably
didn't
be like 10th
fucking
in the West.
jump through the fucking
No.
glass. The Lakers. I looked at you and I thought Celtics.
So where do the Lakers rank
Where
in
the
the West?
Lakers
I
fit?
think it's pretty
If they
good.
make no
Good question.
moves.
Yeah,
got
right
it.
now.
No,
That's all,
right
you know.
now not good. But
Yeah, there you go.
there's room
Well,
to make moves to get a defensive set.
It's a
Like,
big topic to.
they're going to. And now they have new
I
ownership.
have one more thing I need to say.
They're gonna make moves.
Acuna's 35 to 1. From 130 to 1 to 35 to
What
1.
number do you have?
That 130.
You 130.
Raleigh's odds, by the way, got very
Yeah.
thin.
He's on pace for 60 home runs as
Plus
a catcher.
600 now.
You
60
can't.
as a
Those odds were off the board.
Acuna, you can't be honest with me. It's kind of crazy. It went from 130 to 1 to 35 to 1. That's
You have a cash out?
I
thought I'm asking you to-
check in Jersey.
Oh.
But Is that not crazy?
He's
That
off
is
to a great
crazy.
start.
Great start.
396. He's batting.
He's been phenomenal.
How many games?
He has 87 at bats.
Oh, so like probably a little under 30 at 30 games.
All it takes is one slump, though.
Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Or one injury.
Well, I'm not rooting for injuries. I'm
I know you're not.
I
But
mean,
it's
you guys, you can't have
even like a
you can't
10-day
have an
IL
argument
stint, he's
with
fine.
me and say like a slump. It's what's happening
He's
now.
an awesome player.
Not like
But everyone here is
everyone in the MLB can get hurt tomorrow. Actually, they can.
Yeah, but he gets hurt
MVPs
a
don't
lot.
get one in June. They get one in
I'm
August
just
and
saying
September.
though, like it's
You know,
like you
but Marty,
can't-
here's the difference though. If Judge was in a 10-day IL, nothing. It doesn't change his MVP standing. If
course.
Acuna goes to 10-day IL, it's finished.
yeah,
That's
but
the difference.
That's a big if.
But
Right now, what he's doing is crazy.
It is.
he's been really good. But he's always been great. He's awesome.
Not this. This
No,
is
that's
like
true. He's been
crazy.
really great. He's awesome.
35-1.
He's a great player, Marty. He would not win the MVP though.
Good luck.
That's it.
We gotta go.
It's me and you.
We gotta practice.
You should talk about Will Warren.
All right.
Warren. Why?
All right. Great.
Career 6 ERA. He doesn't like that. Marty, I'm sorry. Hubs doesn't like when I bring up the fact that Will Warren is a career 6 ERA.
I would love some notice on that from the fellas, but
I thought you knew.
I didn't know we were doing a
just say
stage,
they
a stage
talked
walkout.
about it. They talked about me. Maybe you weren't here Friday.
I was here Friday.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, it's us two. It's us two.
it's not just the palace.
And even Meek's
gone
gone.
in his suit.
Where are you in the Yankees? Speaking of Yankee stuff, Yankees are Mets are struggling.
Listen. They're gonna. To me, like we've been in a spot for a long time. It's just I'm watching all the games. I'm taking it all in, but I'm never getting too high or low in this team because the regular season, as long as they're in the playoffs, mean literally nothing.
What the big?
The New York
you win the division though. Now you don't have to play the first
but
round.
You're not. I'm saying it does not matter what we do in the regular season. We could be 162-0. It doesn't matter. If they don't win in the playoffs, it does not matter.
If you win the division, it makes it easier to win the playoffs.
Of
Though.
course, you keep your.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
You're meeking me.
I'm not. I'm trying not to be.
I think my overarching thought is that it does not, unless, like I said, I keep saying, as long as they're in the playoffs, it does not matter what they do unless they win the World Series. It doesn't matter. I still think they're the best team in the AL. I'm not going off that.
They have the second best record, but you could say the Tigers
have
are
been great.
feasting
Like,
on weaker.
I respect the Tigers. Like the Tigers have been
I do
great.
too. I think the Yankees are better.
But I think the moves, and I'm sure, like, listen, the Tigers will probably be aggressive as well at the trade deadline. I don't know if they'll be as aggressive as us, but I think we'll be aggressive. I think we'll get another bat. We'll get an arm, I'm sure. Probably a bullpen arm and a starter, I'd imagine.
You'll definitely get a starter. Now, you're getting Stroman back soon, but I know he's not like a long-term answer.
I mean, Hill's
you're getting Hill back.
going to be back in the next, like,
July or
month,
August.
hopefully. Yeah, so that should help.
But I wouldn't be surprised if you guys go and get a starter.
I mean, Schmitz looked really
he's
good.
really good.
His last two, he's looked
He's
incredible.
looked fantastic.
So I'm not we need to add more, but again, like it's just with the Yankees, they can win 20 in a row or they can lose like 10 in a row. I'm never gonna get like too high or too low because it's like it's just been the same song and dance. It feels like for a decade.
Well, 2 years ago, you guys missed the playoffs.
But I'm saying like
This team's better though. I think.
Sure, this team's a lot better. They just need. It's all about can they win the postseason? Like it just
Yeah, that's fair.
And even us, it's gotten to a point where the AL is so weak right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like if we don't make the World Series, it feels like a catastrophe. Listen, if we go lose in the World Series against the Dodgers, I'll be devastated again.
Right.
But it's like I just know they're also fucking awesome. Whereas if we lose to like the Royals or like I don't know the Guardians, which like we always beat, but if we just ended up losing to them or really anyone in the AL, unless like someone makes some like huge, unless
Astros are playing a little better. They have actually
I mean,
the
like,
same record as
the
you.
Mariners are decent. Like there's some teams that like that are not bad. Even like I think there's some other teams that I think will do better in the second half. Like I'm still not to beat us, but I still like the Royals some and like some other teams, but they're not better than the Yankees on paper. It's just like can they get over the hump?
So the Rays are 2.5 back. The Royals are 4 back.
Blue Jays have been playing really good too.
They
They
a lot
lost
better.
yesterday, but they've been playing well.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
So
So you're feeling pretty confident.
it's
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I
I feel confident about the Mets, and they're losing.
I'm just not gonna get like they go on a bad losing streak. I'm not gonna be like, oh, like we're fucked, like it's season's over. But if they win 10, I'm also not gonna be like this is the team, like World Series. Like I'm like in the playoffs, got to see it in the playoffs.
That's fair.
And but I mean, Fried's been awesome. Rodon's been really good, which I think Rodon is gonna be kind of like
He's a huge X factor.
especially if I think we're gonna get a big arm, but like say
so
that
too.
big arm isn't like the like a true like elite arm. Like we need Rodon to be like that number potentially 2 guy, unless Schmidt just turns on like that much and he just like becomes that guy. which is maybe possible. I don't think we're going to see how good he's been these last couple every start, but I mean, you can't expect that. But I don't know. I feel like I feel fine about the Yankees. I'm not.
I could see you guys going and getting Zach Gallen. Like I could see that happening.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get a starter. We're definitely going to get a bat, and then maybe a bullpen arm. I think we'll probably.
That's pretty reasonable.
I feel like we always get a bullpen arm, so I feel like we'll probably add one. I don't know like to what level, but like Weaver's back, which is enormous. I think we missed him dearly while he was gone. Clearly, Williams has been like a little bit better.
He's been better.
He's been better. So I mean, like things are turning into shape, I guess, a little bit.
I think so. I think you guys don't have a reason to worry. You know, even if the Blue Jays playing better. The only I would worry about with you guys is kind of go back to my point of like winning the division. Yeah, I think you guys are in the playoffs no matter what. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, the goal, like winning division's huge. Like if we could be, which I still think there's a world we could chase on the Tigers. Like it's not like they're like that astronomically ahead of us. It's so early. So like getting the
you guys are 3 games back.
I was gonna say not crazy at all. But I like the Tigers though. I mean, they just have the high level pitching. And Glaber's been really good.
Although I will say Flaherty got knocked around this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they need him to pitch better, too. No, I think
I mean, like, Riley Green's really good. Like, they got some good guys over there.
They do. No, they do. And especially in that week, Central, they have an 8.5 game lead in the Central now, too. So they can kind of figure out their shit and not lose too much ground. In the National League, my Mets are a game back at the Phillies. We've been playing pretty terribly lately. We need to go and get I think we need a starter.
You guys will go be aggressive, too.
We need probably 2 bullpen arms. And I wouldn't mind going and getting a real DH. Like Starling Marte is just not, especially with Winker being out.
When's the trade deadline?
6 weeks.
Is it that far away? 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I guess it is all year, right?
Right, and in July,
so early,
right?
Fuck, it's still June.
5 weeks, 6 weeks. I think it's exactly 6 weeks.
So you got
today.
time.
Yeah, I got time. But we have some moves we need. I'm not. The Mets have been in free fall the last 2 weeks for sure, but I'm not too worried about it long term. I think those things take. I think kind of like what you were saying is, I know the Mets are good. You know the Yankees are good. They'll be fine. I just would like to win that division to avoid having to play that wild card round.
Yeah, I mean it was a good spot.
The Phillies are really we have the issue. We have the Phillies. You don't have the Phillies in your.
Yeah, no, it was a good. I'm just not like overly concerned with like the Rays or the Blue Jays. Like the Red Sox, obviously either. I'm not sweating. It feels. I mean, in the AL,
the Red Sox have their own problems.
It sounds so like stupid and cliche. In the AL, it feels like the only team that can beat us is like us, or like injuries.
You're not worried about the Astros at all?
Not I mean, like, I wouldn't say not worried, but I still just think we're better. Like, I think obviously they're very good. Peña's had a huge year,
but they don't have Tucker anymore. They don't have Bregman anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just not like. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say they instill that same kind of fear in me they once did. I feel good. I mean, I'm just not worried about it. It's just all about the playoffs. The Yankees, it's all about the playoffs. It's like the worst spot to be in as a fan because they've been so close so many times recently that like it literally just doesn't matter. And with the Yankees, like what do I just don't care unless it's all about the playoffs. Like you said, they can win, they can be the first seed, they got the best record in the league. If they lose in the ALCS, I'm going to be like the season sucked.
That's fair. And the Mets, you guys have definitely had a lot more close calls than we have for sure. But after last year's success, we're kind of in the same boat where it's like LCS, that would be treading water. Like we'd like to make but the problem is we have the Dodgers we got to worry about. But for the Mets, I mean, it's LCS or bust for us at the very least. And even that's just the same we did last year.
Yeah.
Like if we lose to Dodgers LCS again, I'm not going to be like that was a good year because we didn't do anything. We got Soto and say exactly the same.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like you guys. I mean, it hasn't happened enough yet, so I feel like you guys will still like the Yankees are so different. Like my life, I only know this type of mindset watching my baseball.
Right.
Team. Like I think obviously you're gonna be like, damn, we're in the same spot, but I think a Mets fan will still be like, good year. If you lost to the Dodgers in a close series, I don't think you can sit there and be like,
no, but what
a failure.
No, but it's I think somewhere in the middle where you're like, all right, that year happened.
Sure. It won't have that same sparkle
that we had last year.
That it did last year because it was kind of like from out of nowhere. Right. Also, they had the crazy kind of like late game heroics.
Yes.
That kind of like they should have lost to the Brewers in the first round.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, good on them.
I don't know.
I was gonna say I honestly wanted to quick before we do picks, just last thoughts and just kind of like overall like this NBA. I don't want to say like I guess the season like kind of just the way like I thought the playoffs were phenomenal, but also ended in kind of like a weird spot. Like that was just one of the weirder game sevens to like kind of like take in. Like there's so many different angles of the ways you can look at it. I don't know, just a very bizarre season. Like 2 low markets, not a lot of love for the finals. I said the thing that my girlfriend here said she asked like who the MVP was. They were chanting MVP. She was like, what's his name? I said it. She had never heard it.
Yeah, I know.
And she's around me. She's definitely heard me say SGA in her presence a bunch.
Yeah.
But like, just general has no idea. Like he just is such a. I think the league's in a very weird spot where like all their like primetime A-list stars are really getting old.
Yes.
And I think we're having with SGA, it almost feels like when some guys, like say Anthony Edwards, if he just gets one, he's going to be like the biggest thing on the planet. Where it almost feels like SGA needs to win like another one to like solidify the first one. And that's not like on me saying that. I think that's like the public, him garnering the public's respect.
He just hasn't become a household name
A
yet.
true great.
Which is crazy because the MVP.
That's what I'm saying.
One of the-
And last year he was like second MVP. Like it's not like he just came in at nowhere. Like, he's been a top 3-4 player in the league for the last couple of years now. He didn't just
Tim
come out of the
Duncan
blue.
comp is a good one.
Well, I asked
Like,
because I was 4 when that happened, so I was.
Tim Duncan definitely a household name. I think even like mom. When I say household name,
But
I mean like
he's-
there's
but-
like your mom and grandma know.
But
him.
he like grew into it. I guess the reason I asked you because you were like more like I was 4 years old,
Yeah.
5 years old when that happened. So I didn't know if there was a general like maybe even back then where it was like, oh, I guess they played the Knicks in that finals, but it was a lockout year or whatever, strike year.
Yep.
Like I didn't know if him being the best player. Like you said, them having the Admiral makes it different because they had like it'd be like if the Thunder now had like I don't know. If they had like Dame Lillard, I'm just using him as like,
Yeah.
like a beloved star. You
Even
know
bigger
what
than that, even. Yeah.
It's like a beloved
Yes.
star on the team kind of thing.
You know what helped Duncan too was that he was like Cooper Flag coming out of college. So that's why Patino joined the Celtics. Everyone was like Duncan or bust for the lottery. So like there was so much Duncan hype even before he ever stepped foot in the NBA 4, where SGA didn't have that. SGA was a quieter.
So SGA had no hype.
Right.
He had
So like
basically no hype.
so people were kind of rooting for or against Duncan because of that hype that he had in college, where SGA didn't have that same instant fame.
It is just a weird thing with this team. Like they don't have any. They have 0 big personalities. They're not like the most exciting to watch.
It's funny. The Warriors, like,
are
I think Curry,
small
like,
market.
Curry doesn't have like a great personality. Like he's fine. He's a nice guy.
Curry-
But they had Draymond, who's crazy.
No, but Curry is the most exciting basketball player I've ever seen.
Yes,
That's
fair.
He's
on the court.
Yeah, on the court.
Yeah.
And that was my whole point about like the Mike Trout thing.
Yes,
Like Trout is boring, but watching him hit tank home runs
awesome.
and make amazing catches and steal bases and all that was exciting to watch. Curry was watching him the way he dribbles the ball, the finish at the rim, obviously these 35-foot threes, like pulling up from half court and making 10 of them. Like you just never seen.
It's awesome.
We've never seen anything like it in NBA.
But watching Tim Duncan was boring. Watching Karl Malone was boring. It was boring. Now they're great players for sure. Boring to watch those guys.
I mean, we've seen it with the WNBA with Caitlin Clark. Like she's Steph Curry. She's the most exciting
Yes.
to watch.
Right.
And that's people would rather like. There's probably you could argue throughout. I mean, Curry in his time, he had a player come into his team where already won a championship that was better than him.
Yes.
Like Durant was a better player, but I don't think there's in Durant's exciting to watch, but I don't think there's anyone that'd say I'd rather watch Durant than Steph Curry. Curry,
Correct.
I think is just this exciting, like this incredibly captivating player.
So let's say OKC wins 3 or 4 in a row. Let's say they just go on a crazy run. Is that bad for the NBA?
No, because I think then it'll be all about teams trying to stop
I
it,
think you're right.
and then it becomes like because it's
Then everyone's rooting against OKC because they're boring.
Kind of
and,
like
yeah.
I guess going off like the point I made before, where it's like it almost like feels like he needs to win another one. Where if he does that, then because then you're undeniable.
Oh yeah.
Like when you win the second one,
I think winning the first makes you undeniable. for me,
I think, but I'm saying the public will still
think you're
be
right.
like he's a foul merchant, he's boring,
it's a fluke.
worst MVP ever, the worst final. You know what I'm saying? All the worst of this and that. Like if he wins the second one, then it's like, what the fuck do you have to say now?
Oh yeah.
Like what? Especially if he wins the second one in the next like 2-3 years.
Yes.
You win 2 in 3-4 year stretch. Maybe they win 2 in a row. Who knows? But there's just nothing you can say at that point. Then it's just like, all right, like he's just they're just the best team. Obviously he's obviously a top like 2-3 player. But there'll be no like if you win a second one, you just can't say anything.
So maybe they'll be fun to root against. Maybe 3 years from now, everyone's like,
that's
all
what
right,
I'm
this is
saying.
awesome. I hope the Knicks or the Celtics or whoever it is, whatever this team is, the Pistons beat them.
Teams in the West will keep getting better. Like, it's not like, I mean, it's a gauntlet together the West.
The Astros. The Rockets are going to be,
Other teams
they have all these assets, and Durant, if he can
moves.
stay healthy, does make them better.
And teams are going to make moves, and there's going to be guys that come out of nowhere. Like there's going to be guys like that have a Jalen Williams who hits on like a mid-round pick,
right? Who
within 2 years in the league, he's an all-star.
The problem is, what if the Thunder do it again?
No, they
have these picks, and they end up getting the next Jalen Williams.
They have 15 and 24, and I think this year 15 is more valuable than it is like 99% of years of this draft. I think they're going to draft a stud at 15, and it's funny. Bosco wasn't comprehending like. They can take swings.
Oh yeah,
that's why last year the Nikola Topic. I keep gassing him up. That's why they took a guy 12th overall who they knew when they drafted him he is not going to play this year.
Absolutely,
but they believed in him in his talent that much. Where like, and they think if he did have a torn ACL, he probably goes top like 5.
What that like the Celtics did with a guy named Dino Raja. They were so good that like we can just stash the guy. Didn't it Spurs do that? Was it Tony Parker they did it with?
One of them got.
Oh, Manu.
Manu was a second rounder.
Like they stashed him for
one
while,
of them. I think stashed for like.
So like we're so good, and so this makes it almost like you can play with house money.
They can do with 15 and 24. They can do anything they want.
Right, or you could do 15 and 24 and maybe jump up to 10.
Well, also they're in a great spot too, where it's like it's the world's their oyster in the sense that like they can either take a swing, or they really can just go best available. Like they don't have to like they don't have like a positional need. You know what I mean? Like I could see them taking a big man just because like just adding depth and like Hartenstein's on a 3-year deal, so now he's only got 2 years left. So you see what you want to do with that, and I think he could just use another big guy because Chet's a big guy and he plays good defense, but he's not physical. So I could see them doing that too. But
absolutely. I
mean, it's crazy. I love the way the NBA does this, where like the draft is now in 2 days.
Me too. I do love that.
And it's just so good this year, where the draft last year was like you didn't even know the first 2 guys that got drafted.
They're all from France and
half the lottery you never like heard of.
No.
Like this year, I think you're getting a lot of American guys
and a lot of really good players.
They all were in college. They all were studs. Like no more like Jalen Greens and Kuminga's going like the G League and all this. Like they're all guys that you get to watch. If you watch college basketball, you get to watch them a ton, play high level games.
You gotta
national TV all the time.
An elite number 1 pick, and then even after that, guys like Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, these guys are exciting to watch. BJ Edgecombe.
Dylan Harper would be the number 1 pick in most drafts.
Yeah,
I firmly believe that. This guy, I mean, obviously he's Ron Harper's kid. He's legitimately he's from Paris. He's from 30 minutes from here. He's like a sick, legitimately like no shoes on 6'5" guard with like 6'9" wingspan, who can like shoot, get to the basket. Like a playmaker. I'm like the biggest Harper guy. I think he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I would take him over Bailey in like 2 seconds.
And he's likely to go 2, right?
He's like
that would go to the Spurs.
He's definitely going to go 2.
So now they'll have Castle, Wemby, and this guy.
I really think that he like. I saw some odds like that. Flag is already opening minus like 400 to be Rookie of the Year. I think Bailey could, or excuse me, not Bailey. I think Harper could 100% do it. Like I think he's that good. It's just whether they let him cook as much in his first year and how that works with Fox. But
Jesus Christ.
The thing with Harper,
Spurs are going to be good.
The thing with Harper is though, he's like a big guard. Like he's not tiny, so he's not one of these guys. Oh, like you have these two because he's more of a 1, but he's a true 6'5".
Yeah,
like he's like 6'6" with shoes. So he's a real and big wingspan. So he's not like a defensive liability.
Spurs.
He's not a guy you just like
fun to watch.
They're going to be good.
It's a fun fucking team to watch.
I think the true thing is what you'll see this year is if Fox and him can play together.
Yeah.
Because I think if you can't, then I think you'll probably see Fox.
You move Fox, yeah.
But I think there's a chance that they could work together. But it's tough though because they both really are ball dominant, which I think is going to be a problem. But I think Harper has a higher ceiling down the road.
Oh, I would imagine. But no, that's no disrespect to Fox.
But Fox is like great. That's
a really good player.
It's gonna be questionable because Fox is just that good.
I'm amped up for that one. You want to do picks?
Yeah, we'll do picks. I'm on the Diamondbacks today, minus 130. They're playing the White Sox. What else? A couple more too. I'm on the Yankees money line. They're playing short favorites. Playing the.
Well, they got this kid. Do you see who's starting for you guys? This kid's named Winans.
Yeah.
So he's got, get this, a 90 ERA in AAA. He has been insane. Now he's not a huge prospect. He's in the Braves for a while. Got knocked. He's been in the majors a couple times. Been knocked around. But he has a 9.0 ERA, 0.90 ERA in 10 starts. This isn't like one start. So I'm kind of very intrigued to see how he does.
That's fair. I know the Reds. What is it tomorrow? They're starting. They're like big. They're big.
Yeah, tomorrow they're starting. The
Yankees, a team, and the Reds have been playing not bad. Anytime usually when the Yankees are like short favorites like this or like dogs, I usually am always on them. A short favorite. I'm also going to be on the Cubs as well. Go Diamondbacks, Yankees, Cubs.
I'm very intrigued by the Yankees. I'll be watching that one for sure. My baseball player of the day, Rangers, Orioles under 9.5. Both the Rangers and Orioles can't hit lefties, and both teams are obviously starting left-handed pitching. So not good left-handed. Patrick Corbin is one of them. So like it's not great left-handed pitching, but just 9.5 is a big number. Red Sox money line. Bueller's been so bad lately. I just don't like the Angels pitcher. And then I'm on the Mariners money line. I just like Woo.
I like it. Actually, I'll join them. I'll put it in right now. I'll join Mariners money line with you as well.
Ryan Woo's fun to watch.
Yeah,
he's great control.
He played well as well. All right, shout out everyone in the chat. Appreciate everyone watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Congrats to the Thunder. Your 2025.
A deserving and great champion. And people should respect that.
They deserve more respect. Absolutely
yes.
Deserving champion. We'll be back tomorrow. God bless.